game Anand is playing white and Wesley So is playing black. E4 is a book move. Strong players throughout history have played this move. Garry Kasparov, Magnus Carlsen and Bobby Fischer especially plays this move very often. E6, C6. C6 is a book move, building solid pawn structure with the Caro-Kann defense. D4. D4 is also a book move, pushing the pawn to the center and attacking the key areas of E5 and C5 squares. D5. D5 indicates the Caro-Kann defense, building up a pawn chain and opens a diagonal for the light squared bishop. E5. Pushing the pawn gives white a space advantage. Bishop F5. Bishop F5 is a very good move. It develops the bishop where it controls important E4 square. Black can play E7 next without trapping the light squared bishop on C8. Knight D2. White develops the knight and attacks the center. E6. E6 supports the bishop and the other bishop is ready to be developed. Knight B3. Knight B3 is a book move. So far whatever is played is all book moves. Knight D7. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. Knight F3. Knight F3 is an excellent move, controls the center. A6. A6 takes away the important square B5 from white. This is a solid opening, continuing with the standard opening theory. Bishop E2. Bishop E2 is the best move according to Bobby Fischer. Many of his games commented on this move like this, and this is a solid choice, and the bishop can be used in both the king side and queen side later. C5. C5 is a very good move, applying pressure on the pawn's chain, and this pawn has got the support of bishop also. D into C5. Anand removes the strong pawn. Bishop into C5. Bishop into C5 is an equal trade. Knight into C5. Knight into C5 is a good move. That bishop will always be attacking the F2 pawn, and it is risky to leave that bishop there. Knight into C5. Knight into C5 is the straightforward recapture. Anand castles. Castling is a good move, moving the king to safety and as well as developing the rook. Knight E7. Knight E7 is a good move, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center, also preparing for castling. Knight D4. Knight D4 is a very good move, attacking the bishop, attacking the powerful bishop. Bishop E4. Bishop E3. That bishop has got the support. White develops and they build up the attacks in the center. Queen C7. Queen C7 for black. Queen C2 for white are very good moves. F4. F4 creates a very strong pawn chain in the center. Knight F5. Knight F5 is a good move, attacks the bishop, and the knight controls more square on the board. Knight into F5. Therefore Anand removed the knight. And also another disadvantage for black is the doubled pawns. E into F5. C3. C3 is a good move, moving away from the attack of the bishop, and C4 is still better, weakens the pawn. Rook C8. Rook C8 is a good move, and black develops further. A4. A4 is an excellent move actually, but in this position it is not required. Excellent because it controls the B5 square. Wesley So castles. A5. A5 takes away the B6 square. Queen C6. Queen finds a new active square. Rook F2 is a precise move, controlling the second rank. h6. h6 is a good move. This creates the h6 creates a space for the king to move in case of it is attacked, and it is a good move. Bishop f1. Bishop f1 is a good move. You can anticipate g3 and white pinch of his bishop, so that he can eliminate the strong black's bishop on e4. Knight e6. Knight e6 is a best move. Rook a4. One more piece joins the action. Queen c7. Queen goes back. Bishop b6. Bishop b6 is a very good move, attacking the queen. It claims the outpost. Queen e7. Queen e7 avoids the danger, and it is the best place for the queen. Rook b4. It is not a mistake, and it is not the very good place for the rook. g5. g5 is bad because it weakens the king's position. This misses the best way to attack the pawn chain. Recommended is f6 as shown. F into Anand takes advantage of a Wesley So's mistake. H into g5. g3. As expected, g3 is played. You can expect bishop g2 also shortly. Rook c5 with the intention to move the rook to the king's defense. Bishop g2. Bishop g2 is a very good move to remove the strong bishop. Or bishop d3 also a good move. Knight g7 giving way for the rook and defends the pawn. Bishop d4. Bishop d4 is a very good move, protects the pawn. Rook f c8. Doubling the pawn always good. Bishop e3. Bishop e3 is a very good move, attacking the g5 pawn. And if f4 is played, g2 into e4, d5 into e4, and it gives space way for the attack by the rook after playing rook d4. Rook g6. Rook moves to the defense of the king. Bishop d4. Bishop d4 is a very good move. f4. f4 creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure before black's king. Queen e2. Queen e2 is a good move, and you can expect c4 from Anand. Bishop into g2. It is the best move. This prevents the opponent from being able to tactically win a pawn. Rook into g2. Knight e6. Knight e6 is a good move. It attacks the d5 bishop. Bishop b6. It is the third time the bishop is moving to b6, and it is not required now. King g7. King g7 is a fair move. More squares to move the king. Queen d3. Having an eye on f5. d4. d4 is a solid choice. Bishop into d4. g4. g4 is a blunder. This leads to losing a pawn. G into f4. Knight into d4. Queen f5. Queen f5 is a great move by Anand. Knight h3 check. King f1. Rook g8. This rook move puts the rook on the safer square. e6 check. Discovered check, and the pawn is attacked now. Queen h6. Bishop e3 check. Knight g5. h4. The knight is pinned and cannot move now. Black cannot play en passant. As the knight is pinned, that will lead to loss of material. So king g7. H into g5. H into g5, and difficult to play with a grandmaster with one piece down. So Wesley So resigns. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Please subscribe so that you can see many more beautiful games of these champions. Thanks for watching once again.